Hi guys, welcome to my glute massage tutorial. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of a different position to put the leg in while you're working the glutes and the hamstrings. So you can see I am bending the leg at the knee, and then I'm tucking the sheets and the blanket up underneath the knee and up underneath the thigh. And then I'm just making sure that everything is covered that should be covered, leaving everything I want to work on exposed. And bending the leg like this, I think it's called the frog position in yoga. So this would be a one-sided frog position, I guess. I'm not sure. Let's get those sheets tucked up there we go. Okay. So now, oh, there we go. Now the leg is perfect. That's a great angle. And what this does, it opens up the glute muscles and the hamstrings just a little bit more so that you can really get in there and do some beneficial work. And this client works out about 5 or 6 days a week. He does a lot of yoga, so he's very flexible. He's got great range of motion, and I did check with him to make sure that he was comfortable in this position, and he was. Always make sure that you check with the client before you do this, just in case their hip flexors are too tight. This might be unbearable for them. And I'm just warming up the muscle. And you can work on this side of the table, or you'll see in a few minutes, I actually move to the other side of the table and I work on this same leg. And this is a great way to get the IT band as well, the iliotibial tract, which is always pretty tight on most people. And it's also very tender and very sensitive. So when I do work on the IT band, I lighten up my pressure by at least 50%. Otherwise, you stress out the band and you completely defeat the purpose of any work you're trying to do. So there's your boundary. You want to remember where that boundary is. You never want your fingers to go past the boundary to make the client feel vulnerable or uncomfortable. And you'll notice the direction that I'm going in is towards the cleft. I never want to pull the skin away from the cleft because, again, that's very uncomfortable for the client and can make them feel very vulnerable. So you just really need to be aware of the direction that your hands are going when the leg is opened up like this. I also like to incorporate, as you can see here, some low back into this in large sweeping motions. I like to get that great trochanter, especially if there's bursitis there. This feels wonderful. And I don't use my thumbs a lot. As I'm sure you know, it's just not good for your thumbs. You can blow out the joint. It's a very easy way to burn out in this job. So I'm using my forearms. I'll be using my elbows. I use the heel of my hand a lot. And if I do have my thumb on the skin, it's usually as a guide, and it's being stabilized by my other hand. So again, I'm just showing the direction that I'm going in is always towards the cleft. And it's really great to get some of your strokes up into the back, so everything just feels one, I guess is the best way to put it. You can get QL, you can get the iliac crest, you can definitely get the SI joint. I'm using my elbows to do some opposing stretches here. And this is where I'm really aware of my pressure. I'm keeping an eye on his foot, because if his foot tenses, then I know that I've gone too deep and I need to lighten up. And there's that IT band that you need to be aware of with your pressure. And as I recall, when I was working on him, his piriformis was quite tight. So I decided to do this stretch, which I'm sure you've seen before. It's a little bit of range of motion. So my left fist is applying pressure on piriformis each time I rotate the leg. Now, if the client were to have a bad knee, I do not recommend doing this stretch at all. And now we're going to do some rotations. Again, I'm applying pressure with my left fist. This is great for the low back. When I had some low back problems a couple of years ago, my chiropractor did this on me, and I was amazed at how much it benefited my entire low back. SI joint, QL, everything felt great after this. So here I'm just showing that you can work on the opposite side of the table. And you can't see my legs, but I am in a wide stance. And I'm showing you that my hip is actually leaning into the table. Not the client, but the table. And there's my thumb as a guide, but my fingers behind it are the powerhouse in this move, not the thumb. And I'm pinpointing each hamstring muscle. This requires a little bit more leaning, so I'm trying to be really careful and very aware of where my body is. And when I had this done, to me, it just was amazing. It felt so good. I couldn't believe how just that little bit of bend in the leg makes all the difference in the world. And his foot just twitched a little bit, so I realized that I needed to lighten up my pressure. It's called tracking the client. You're making sure that nothing is tensing up because they may be a little bit shy to tell you that you're going too deep. So you need to be aware of what the rest of their body is doing while you're working on certain areas. So clearly I'm repeating a lot of moves here, but I think once I get started, sometimes I just can't stop. I just love doing massage so much. And I'm incorporating the back a little bit into that stroke, just because I know how good it feels. And that's pretty much everything, really. You may not have time to do everything that I just showed you in an hour session, But even if you just did a couple, it's very effective. Or the client may want the entire section on their legs and buttocks. It depends on what they're seeing you for. And these are just some elbow compressions. And if I didn't mention this before, now's a good time. That bolster should be right under his foot, so his foot has something to lean on. And I'm lightening up my pressure here because I know that's a sensitive area. So that was my glute massage with the leg bent at about, 45, 55 degree angle. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Click thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.